Welcome to class, guys. If you can wait maybe 2 more minutes, I would like to get any late students into the class. If you can also read the in-class student guide in the meantime, and please run or perform the audio setup wizard. This will set up your sound and your microphones properly and will eliminate most problems that students have with their sound and microphone. So if you can do that, that'd be great. And if you can wait 2 more minutes, I do appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, guys, thank you very much for waiting. I do appreciate it. So if you haven't already performed the audio setup wizard, please do so now. Well, hello, my name is Rob. I'll be your teacher for this lesson, and I'm speaking to you from Bali, Indonesia. That is where I live and work now, but I am originally from Perth, Western Australia. So that's a little bit about me. I would like you to maybe tell me a little bit about you. Please introduce yourselves. I'm giving you all, well, both of you, a microphone icon so you can speak. I know it's okay. I know it is a rather small class, but that's all right. So remember to perform the audio setup wizard before you try and speak. Remember to raise your hand. Please turn off or mute your microphones when you are not speaking. This is so we can eliminate any background noise. I will do this also. And if you are having technical problems, please let me know. Maybe I can help. If not, I will direct you to technical assistance. So that's the housekeeping done. Who would like to introduce themselves to the class? Please don't be nervous, please don't be shy. Please tell the class your name, where you are from, and if you have any hobbies. Yes, Sahar, go ahead. Sahar, thank you very much for introducing yourself. Hope you enjoy the lesson today, maybe learn something from it as well. Thank you, Sahar. I hope I will pronounce your name correctly. Is it Hatun? Hatun, would you like to introduce yourself to the class?
Yes, my name is Hatun. I am in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. I'm studying in university. I hope understand English and speak very well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hatun, for introducing yourself. Hope you enjoy the lesson today. Maybe learn something from it as well. Thank you very much, Hatun. Hagar, I hope I've pronounced your name. Hope I pronounced your name correctly. Would you like to introduce yourself to the class? Thank you very much, Hajar, for introducing yourself. I do apologize for mispronouncing your name originally, but now I know, so I will endeavor to pronounce it properly. So Hajar, thank you very much for introducing yourself. Hope you enjoy the lesson today, and maybe learn something from it as well. Okay, class. This is a rather small class, which is very good. So you have, well, you have me all to yourself, in a way. So thank you very much for your introductions. I think we've all gotten to know each other a little bit better, and I think that's a good thing in any situation. So let's get into it. Let's start with the lesson. So the topic today is talking about the future. So what do you think the future will be like? So you can use your imagination. You can maybe pretend, pretend some things might happen, may not happen. Who knows? It is the future. So our very first slide, the question is, what will the future look like? We have 2 pictures. So the picture on the left-hand side is a very, very technologically advanced picture, I think. And the picture on the right-hand side looks like there's been a bit of a disaster. Personally, I think the future will look like a mix of, being technologically advanced, but also maybe some, maybe some global problems as well will be experienced in the future. So, what do you think the future will look like? I think there might be a mix between the two. What do you think, guys? What do you think the future will look like? Yes, Hatun, go ahead.
I think the future is a mix about these two pictures. Some country have a disaster for tsunami or volcano or like that, but the technology and fast must be there. Some car very fast and use for sun. Maybe we go to the moon or like another planet. I think that. Thank you.
Yes, I would have to agree with you. Most definitely, there will always be technology around, I think. But yes, maybe some of the global problems that we are experiencing, maybe the natural natural disasters. We will still experience them, I think, despite having all this technology. So yes, that's a very good answer. Very good point of view and opinion, I might add. Hatun, thank you very much for sharing that with the class. So guys, do you have a similar opinion, a similar point of view, or do you have a different opinion or a different point of view? What do you think? Yes, Sahar, go ahead. Of course, thank you very much, Sahar, for sharing that with the class. You are correct. The future is not written, I think, so it is very difficult to predict anything. But that being said, it doesn't. That being said, it doesn't hurt to obviously use your imagination, especially when we are talking about the future. So thank you very much, Sahar. Haja, would you like to tell the class, what do you think the future will look like?
Okay. I hope it's like picture number one. It's wonderful and easy to live, and everything. It's amazing. But I'm afraid it's from the picture too, because every time when that something is good, create something is good, it's something bad come with it. I don't know, but I still just hope it's like picture number one.
Yes, we can always hope for the best. I think, Haja, that's a very noble sentiment, I think. But you are correct. Whenever there's something, something good happen. When something good happens, there tends to be always something bad that also happens with it as well. So yes, I think personally, I think there will always be, despite having all this technology and all this futuristic stuff, I guess, like smart cars, smartphones, smart computers, even smart houses, I think there will always be, natural disasters, there will always be poverty, there will always be people who are always, less fortunate than us, despite, how much technology advances. So there is a phrase that we use in English, it's called, we take the bad with the good. So we have to be prepared for all the good things as well as all the bad things in life. So guys, thank you very much for sharing that with each other. So now I want you to be a little bit more specific. So can you think, what will the world be like in 20 years? So 20 years from now, are there some things that you are certain about? And what are some things that you think will not happen? So if we have a look at the example, so the person in the example has said that there will certainly be smart homes, and there probably won't be flying cars. So what are you certain about 20 years from now? And what do you think won't happen 20 years from now? I think I have to agree that there will certainly be smart homes. I think there are smart homes now as well. And I would agree that there probably won't be flying cars. but I would like to hear your opinions. Go ahead, Sahar. Of course. Sahar, can I ask you, why do you agree that there probably won't be flying cars? I would like to know the reason, if that's okay. That's okay. It's always good to express an opinion, I think. Sahar, thank you very much. So guys, what do you think the world will be like in 20 years? What are you certain about, and what do you think won't happen? Yes, Hatun, go ahead.
I think in 20 years we not have only fly cars, because now we have fly cars, but in 20 years maybe we have a smart house and a very expensive house, because everything maybe touch the TV or iPad. We not have a laptop because everybody have iPad or something like that. Maybe we have flying fasting car and a lot of technology. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hatun, for sharing that with the class. Yes, you are correct. I think maybe in 20 years' time, most people will have smart homes. So, a smart home obviously is a home that is controlled, by a computer. Even if it's just an iPad or an iPhone or a computer, doesn't really matter. So I guess you don't have to close the close the drapes, close the curtains. You do not have to wash the dishes. You do not have to do this. You do not have to do that. It sounds very, very nice, very good, very, I guess very time saving, very time efficient, I guess, which is true. But I guess I'm a bit old-fashioned. I still prefer, houses with locks, houses with, where you have to do most things yourself. I know it can be very tiring, but I think if you are dependent on a computer, if you depend on a computer for everything else, then there's no use for you, really. Which is a little bit sad, I think. But that is just my opinion. Hatun, thank you very much for sharing your opinion. So, Hajar, what do you think the world will be like in 20 years' time? Okay, then, yes. Hajar, I hope in 20 years' time, human beings will reach the moon again. I think it was sad that after people have reached the moon in the 1960s and 1970s, they had to stop it. But that being said, I actually really do hope that human beings can travel, travel to other planets, maybe to other star systems as well. But that is just a hope. I'm not sure that will happen in my lifetime, but I hope it does happen. So Hajar, yes, that's a very good example, I think. So guys, thank you very much for sharing your opinions with the class. It's good to see that you are that your minds are thinking about today's topic, and that's what I really want you to think about. But it's a very good topic, I think, simply because we don't know what will happen in the future, and obviously to think about the future, you have to use your imagination a little bit. And using your imagination is very good when you are studying another language, because you are forced to think about some things and make sentences and find expressions to say what you are thinking. So a good topic to practice, I think. So class, in this slide we have some words. So we have the words robots, teleporters, electric cars, a new power source, ray guns, and genetic engineering. So I want you to have a look at these words, and please tell me which do you think which of these words belong in the present and which belong in the future. I'll help you out and do the first one, robots. So robots is in the in the present group, I think that is. I have to agree with that. Well, where that is placed, simply because I think we use robots in the manufacturing world. We use robots now. I think maybe not in the human form that you might see in the movies, but I think when we have a look at car manufacturing factories, when they are putting the car together, they have all these robotic arms. I think that weld, that glue, that place things inside the car. Also in research laboratories, I think they use robots to do functions. That, let's say, for example, in a highly infectious disease research facility. I mean, it's very dangerous for a scientist to be exposed to deadly bacteria, deadly viruses, deadly materials. So obviously these robots, these robotic arms, these robotic I don't know, maybe things. I'm not sure how to say it. Maybe they will go retrieve the dangerous bacteria in the container, and then it'll deliver it to the scientist who is behind like a glass door or something. So robots, I think, are well, the technology is here now, so I think that's why it's in the present. So teleporters. Do you think teleporters is something that we can see in the future or in the present? What do you think, Sahar? Yes, of course. I think if you watch Star Trek, they used. Oops, I do apologize. Not teleporters. Sorry, I skipped over a new power source. But yes, teleporters. I think sometime in the future. If you watch Star Trek, they use the transporter, which is essentially a teleporter. So yes, definitely sometime in the future. The technology, I think, is very complicated, but maybe in maybe a couple of 100 years they might perfect it. I don't know, but I guess it's possible. Okay, Haja, what about ray guns? So, what do you think? The present or the future? Very good. Yes, thank you very much, Haja. Personally, I think ray guns. I disagree with where they put ray guns, simply because I think we have the technology now for ray guns. I mean, we use lasers in manufacturing, in scientific instruments. Essentially, so the technology is there. And I think we also use we use microwaves to heat up food, or even to make food. I think so. If we put that technology into in a weapon of sorts, I don't think it's not very difficult, really. So yeah, I think so. Ray guns doesn't always mean just laser guns and that sort of thing that you see in science fiction. You've got like I said, so obviously lasers, microwaves, maybe plasma rifles, maybe an electric rifle or something that shoots a bolt of lightning, something like that. I know this is very science fiction, maybe very computer. This is the realm of the world of computer games, I think. But I think it is. I mean, we've got the technology now, and yeah, it's I'm not sure. I don't follow it, but maybe some governments around the world are developing these sort of weapons. But I don't know. So that's just my opinion. But maybe if we put, maybe we can have like a plasma rifle in the next few years, I think. Perhaps, don't know. Okay, guys, electric cars. Do you think electric cars are, can we see them in the future, or do we see them now in the present? Yes, Sahar. Of course, yes. I'd have to agree with you, and I agree with where they put it on the slide here. I think we do have electric cars now, but I think it's in the same sort of situation when people started thinking about cars originally. Obviously, before the Ford Motor Company mass-produced cars in I think 1903. I could be wrong, but very early in the 1900s. But before, it wasn't that the car was invented that year. They had cars before that. But the thing is, it was only very small scale, and when it is small scale, it is very expensive, and only only rich people with a lot of money can afford to essentially get their own car made. But when the Ford Motor Company started mass producing cars for the general public, that's when the car sort of exploded, I think. And now I think it's the same with electric cars. We do have electric cars here, but obviously not many people are buying it, and I think maybe some of the technology is not quite up to scratch. I know electric cars need a lot of batteries, and I know that battery technology is improving, but maybe it's not quite there to make the electric car more attractive to people to actually want to buy it, I think. And I think that's one of the problems with electric cars as well. Another problem I see is that we have to charge, the batteries, right? And the problem with charging the batteries is that, we still have to, have power plants to create electricity. So I'm not too sure if it's, if that's a good way to do it. It is good to the environment, Sahar, that is correct. No, electric cars are clean. There's no doubt about that, but it's just how we power them, I think. Electric cars are a good thing, personally, I think, but we've got to really think things through. But that's just my opinion, and thank you very much for sharing yours. Okay, Hatun, what about you? What about genetic engineering? Do you think it is something in the future or something in the present? What do you think?
No, in the present. We see a lot in the present.
Yes, I'd have to agree with you. That is correct. I think an example of genetic engineering is the genetically modified foods. I think it is understandable. It is good in some cases, but there's a lot of things that we don't know about genetically modified foods, and we've only really got to grips with genetic engineering in the past 10, 15 years. I mean, look, 10 years ago, scientists around the world have decoded the human chromosome, well, the DNA, the gene, the genome, right? So that's human DNA, and that's only 15 years ago. So, and then now they're doing the experiments to find out, what genes do this, what genes, give you eye color, what genes give you, your skin color, what genes, maybe give you diabetes or give you an increased risk of heart attack, that sort of thing. I think we're still in the research phase. It's genetic engineering, no doubt. It's a very big step, but we really have to be mindful about how these technologies are used, because we don't want to go to the extreme, I think. But that's just my opinion, and I'll stop there. So guys, thank you very much for for talking about this. I think this is a very interesting topic, and I do appreciate your input, your points of view. So let's move on to our next slide. Now I want you to decide if you agree or disagree with the statements. So let's have a look at statement number 1. There probably won't be ray guns. So what that statement is saying is that there might not be ray guns in the future. I would have to disagree and say yes, there'll probably be ray guns in the future. So what do you think? Do you disagree or agree with this statement? Yes, Haja, go ahead.
I agree. The ray gun in the future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Haja. Yes, I'm glad that you agree with me. just guys, there's a bit of a grammatical point here. When somebody tells you a statement, they say there probably won't be ray guns. You can agree or disagree, but be very careful, you know, about how you respond, because number one, what the statement is saying that there might not be any ray guns in the future, or so do you agree that with the statement? So you are agreeing and saying yes, there will not be any ray guns in the future. So that's it. What happens if you agree? If you do not agree, and you have a you know, the opposite point of view, you have to say you disagree with the statement. And when you are agreeing or disagreeing, it's also very good to say what your position is. Yes, Sir Haja?
Yes, I wanna fix the sentence. The problem won't be ray guns. Disagree. They will be ray guns in the future.
Yes. Haja, thank you very much. That's very good. Thank you. That's awesome stuff. And that's how we would say it. Thank you very much. You've taken on what I've said. I'm glad that you have. Great stuff. I know English can be a little bit difficult sometimes. I understand that English is your second language, but agreeing or disagreeing with the statement, please read the statement first before you agree or disagree, because it can be a little bit difficult. I'm just letting you know, maybe for your future classes, and something to practice as well. So, Sahar, can you do the next one? There may be teleporters. So, yes, there might be teleporters in the future. Do you agree with that statement or disagree? Thank you very much, Sahar. Awesome stuff. Okay, what about number 3? There will probably be a new power source. So, there might be a new power source in the future. Do you agree or disagree with that statement? Yes, Hatun.
I agree. There will be a new power source in the future.
Good. Thank you very much, Hatun. Okay, Haja, what about number 4? There certainly won't be flying cars in the future. So there will definitely not be flying car. There will definitely not be. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Most definitely, there will not be any flying cars in the future. That's what that statement is trying to say, I think. So do you agree or disagree with that, Haja?
Okay, at this point, I disagree, because I think the future is wide open, and imaginations never stop, and could be, will be there.
Okay then.
Thank you.
Yes, I think we'll have to see, and you are correct. The future is not written, I think. Thank you very much, Haja. What about number 5? There definitely won't be genetic engineering. So there is definitely there will not be any genetic engineering in the future. That's what that's trying to say. Do you agree with that statement, Hatun?
Agree. There may be a lot of genetic engineering in the future.
I think you might be correct with that. So thank you very much for I guess answering the question. Yes. Okay. Yep. Thank you very much. So what about number 6, Sahar? What about number 6? There may be spaceships. I'll put a twist on this, so a little bit different here. I know that under some countries, they have their own space programs. They send rockets up into the, up into space. But that's only to the International Space Station, where it's just orbiting the planet Earth. What about spaceships that allow, humans or astronauts to travel to maybe Mars or the Moon or other planets in our solar system? So that's what I mean by spaceships. It's not just, very short distances, but maybe very long distances. What do you think, Sahar? Do you agree that there may be those type of spaceships in the future? Oh, what I mean is, let me see. Because we have rockets, obviously, let's take NASA for example. They have the space shuttle, right? But the space shuttle is only used for short distances, only, you know, to go to the International Space Station. So only to the orbit around, you know, the planet Earth, our planet Earth, right? What I mean by spaceships, I'm thinking more like long distance sort of spacecraft. So so probably a little bit different, maybe a little bit more, let's see, technically advanced, maybe a spaceship that can travel to other planets rather than just doing short trips. That's just the only point of difference, Sahar. So yeah, that's all I was just trying to say. Maybe make the statement a little bit more interesting. So guys, thank you very much for sharing your opinions and telling me if you agree or disagree with these statements. Did very well. So we've reached our final task, and this is our role-playing task, so I need 2 volunteers. I want you to discuss your predictions for the future. So student A, I want you to tell student B about your predictions for the year 2050, and please discuss, and student B, please discuss student A's ideas and add your own. So if you have a look at the example, student A says there will definitely be flying cars in 2050. Student B here has a different opinion and says, no, there probably won't be flying cars, but there will certainly be electric cars. So that's that activity, you know, when we are thinking what we think will definitely happen, you know, some certainty, and what we don't think will happen. So, who wants to be student A and who wants to be student B? Yes, Sahar, go ahead. Would you like to be student A? And who would like to be student B? So who would like to be student B? Come on, guys. Yes, Haja, would you like to be student B? So, Sahar and Haja, can you please discuss predict your predictions for the future? Go ahead.
Yes, I agree with you. We're able to have smart houses and smartphones, and we can even, I think, we can smell the perfume from internet, maybe. Yes, I agree with this. We'll able to every person to have a report, and we will have, I think, more free time then. And yes, I agree with this. I think it will be easier than now. Maybe we can fly to the moon just for buy some ice cream, and I don't know, it will be happen.
Thank you very much, Sahar and Haja, for talking about your predictions of the future. Good stuff. So Hatun, would you like to go next? Maybe I can be your partner for this activity.
Okay, no problem. I think in the future 2050, maybe can control for weather, and we have beautiful weather when we want, and raining weather we want. Do you agree for that?
I would have to agree. Perhaps that could happen. The problem is, I think it's not a good. There's a lot of dangers, I think, with tampering with the weather. It's I don't like it, but I think it might happen in 2050. So Hatun, do you think there will be a lot of genetic engineering in the future in 2050? Do you think it'll be a normal part of life, genetic engineering?
I think yes. We have a lot of that.
Okay. Oh, yep. I think you are correct. We do have a lot of that now, in the present, but maybe in 2050 it will be more common. So maybe people do not have to wait for a heart transplant or a liver transplant. Do you agree that maybe people can grow their own organs?
I can't understand what is meaning.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
No problem.
What I'm trying to say, Hatun, it's just an example of genetic engineering, where people can grow their own hearts, grow their own, their own organs, just in case they, they have a heart attack and they need a new heart, or maybe, they drink too much and they need to have a new liver. So part of genetic engineering is, I guess, one of the things you can do with genetic engineering is to grow your own, what's the word? Your own organs. So do you think that might happen in 2050?
I think maybe, and maybe in other way you can we not have to go on outside, for example, outside to shopping or other. Maybe we have a lot of store in the internet, and we have a lot of amazing in the internet to control our life.
Yes, most definitely. I think maybe the internet can be more part of our lives in 2050. All right. Thank you very much, Hatun, for
Okay.
for participating in this role play. You did very well. All of you did very well. So, guys, we've reached the end of the lesson, and just in time because we've run out of time. So, very quickly, we've talked about different possibilities for the future. So what we've talked about is not what will happen. It is a possibility. It might happen. It might not happen. We've made predictions about the future, and we've practiced using different adverbs of certainty. So, guys, thank you very much for attending class. I must end the lesson here. You all participated very well in class, and I'm glad that you've come into class today. So I've opened up the slides, so the slides are not frozen anymore, so you can have a look at the information yourselves, go over anything you have found a little bit difficult. I think it will be beneficial for you if you do that before you leave the class. If you want to, you can practice speaking English with your classmates. You can use this time. I think it's a good opportunity. You don't have to do it. It's just a good opportunity. If you have any questions, please type it in the chat. Maybe I can answer these questions for you. That's if you have them, of course. If you don't have any questions, that's okay. I would like to see you in a future class. But until then, please continue to practice your English. I cannot find much fault with what you are saying, but if you can just concentrate on your pronunciation. This is not a big thing. It's just that if you can pronounce your words and your sentences not properly, but a little bit more clearly, especially if you come across any difficult words, I think people will be amazed with how you speak if you can pronounce difficult words clearly. Also, it also doesn't hurt to maintain your language skills. Also, another thing, especially about the statements, just read the statements and try and understand what the statements are before trying to answer. And it is always good to, if you agree or disagree with a statement, to give your position as well. Even if you are agreeing, it's good to say, yes, I agree, I think, da 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 da. If you don't agree with the statement, you can say, no, I do not agree, these are my reasons. So it's a good way to talk, I guess if you like debating or talking about topics. I thought I might say that simply because I think some of you guys are studying, and that's what you do when you are studying. So not to worry. It's just something to work on. It's not a comment on you guys. You've done very well. Oh, and also watch out for your prepositions, okay? I did notice that you were correcting yourselves, but please, I know prepositions are small words, but they make, you know, a very big difference to your fluency. So just watch out for them, okay? All right, guys. If you don't have any questions, I'll leave it there. Hope to see you. Hope to see you in a future class, and I'm not just saying that. But if you don't have any questions, I'll leave you to it. See you later, guys. Bye.